So I recently picked up a 2009 Mini Cooper Clubman, and I purchased the car because most of it was in decent condition except for the rims. And as you can see here, it's got some curb damage, some gouges in the rim, and I wanted to see if I could take a little Bondo and maybe some Plastidip and make these rims look at least a little bit more presentable. Anyway, let's get started with this video.
So this is what it looks like before I do the Plastidip on the rims for the whole car, and then I'll show you what it looks like afterwards and how to do it. First thing you're going to have to do is jack up the car, take off the bolts of the rim, and then pull the tires off. I could mask it and leave it on the car, but I have to wash these things really good, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to wash them while they're on the car when I can just take them off and then wash the rims really good and then let them dry out and then just spray paint the Plastidip right over it. You have to do it in several coats. So let's do that. This is a Mini Cooper S Clubman 2009, and they have really small jacks because they're not really heavy cars. So you just have to jack it up high enough to get the wheel off, and then you can proceed to
Bondo and paint it.
Okay, so what I did is I washed the rim with some car wash and then rinsed it off. Took a rag like that and went through all the nooks and crannies as good as I could. Then I placed some Bondo in all of the scratch marks that I could find, at least the big ones. I'm not worried about the little ones. The black is going to hide a lot of that stuff, and I'm letting it cure, and once it's cured enough, I'm going to sand it off, and when I get it to a relatively smooth finish, I am going to then start spraying and applying the Plastidip. So what I did is I assessed the surface and sanded the spots that had not as deep grooves, and anything with a gouge in it I pretty much filled with some Bondo material, and I'm allowing it to dry after washing it one more time. And it's not going to be perfect, but it will be good enough to be less noticeable when it's all black. So on the tire, you need to mask a few things in order to keep the paint off of it. Usually the valve. So I'm going to take the cap off the air valve to cover it as good as possible. It's not a big deal if a little bit gets on it. I just want to keep the paint out of the valve itself. Then, since I have these caps and I don't feel like taking the caps off, this as good as possible, trying to keep it off the center. Got the valve stem covered. Next thing to do is to just do one more wipe down of the surface, make sure there's no water from washing it earlier. You could also just let it dry for hours, but I'm not that patient. I was giving it about, I don't know, 10-15 minutes per wash to dry, and about 15-20 minutes to have the Bondo dry. Pretty sure that's not recommended, but since the Bondo is just there to be filler and I'm not worried about the paint surface as much as like a car paint. Should be fine. So everything looks dry and should be ready to go. So I'm just using a standard can of Plastidip. It's multi-purpose. I've seen a lot of people online though utilize this. I'm using just the standard black color. And what they say to do online is to give it a light coat first, let that coat dry, and then proceed to build up each coat successively. That's gonna be my first coat, and it's really light. You know, hit it a couple spots a little bit thick, but that shouldn't matter. I'm gonna let that dry, and then I'm gonna go with a second coat, and subsequently then start to hit all the nooks and crannies, then build another coat and move on from there. Okay, so I got about 4 coats and a little bit paint left. Now, normally I can get about 7 coats a can. Unfortunately, I messed up, so I had to peel 3 coats off. It isn't too bad. I'm gonna probably find my other 2 cans I used, spray that, how much I have left. Okay, so that's the finished product of this rim. It's pretty good, especially considering I had to peel it all off and start from scratch. So, good enough for government work. 1 rim left, do that tomorrow. Give yourself a lot of time to do this. I probably could have done 2 rims a day, but it still would have took me 2 solid days because of the time it takes to clean the rim, take the rim off, remount the rim, and of course prepping and painting. It's all time consuming. Give it about 2 to 3 hours a rim.
Anyway guys, that's my video. Hopefully you found this informational. This was a relatively easy project, but you really need to take your time, and I would actually maybe spray some primer paint next time if I was going to do this project again. That way you can see any imperfections and rebondo it before you actually put the Plastidip on. If you guys like this video, please click like. If you really liked it, please subscribe. And if you do subscribe, click that bell, and that will give you future notifications when I get new videos out. Anyway, that's my video. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna get the tag out of here. Later.